upset. Good morning, everyone. Let's talk about something that completely changes the way you think about health, and that is upset. Fixing the root cause, not the symptoms. Every symptom your body produces is a message, upset. It is not a random occurrence or an isolated problem, but a signal that something deeper is out of balance, upset. The body is highly intelligent, constantly working to maintain equilibrium, and when that balance is disturbed, upset, it speaks to you through symptoms. Fatigue, bloating, skin issues, headaches, or mood swings are not the real problems. Upset. They are warning lights on your dashboard, trying to tell you that something beneath the surface needs attention. Upset. When you feel tired, for example, that's your body's way of saying energy production is compromised. Upset. Maybe your cells aren't getting enough nutrients. Upset. Or your mitochondria are overloaded with glucose and can't switch to fat as a fuel source. Upset. Masking that fatigue with caffeine might help for a few hours. Upset. But it never addresses the reason your energy is low in the first place. Over time, upset. Ignoring that signal forces your body to push harder and compensate in unhealthy ways, which leads to burnout or deeper issues. Upset. The same is true for cravings. People often think cravings are about willpower, but they're not. Upset. They're biochemical messages. Upset. A craving for sugar or carbohydrates might mean your blood sugar levels are unstable or your body is missing key minerals like potassium or magnesium. Upset. Instead of labeling yourself as weak for having cravings, it's more productive to ask, why does my body keep asking for this? Upset. Once you feed your body the right nutrients and balance your blood sugar, those cravings usually disappear on their own. Upset. Modern medicine tends to approach health by silencing these signals. If you have pain, take a painkiller. If you have heartburn, upset. Take an acid blocker. If you can't sleep, take a sedative. The problem is that these solutions treat the symptom, upset, not the underlying cause, upset. They make you feel better temporarily, but do nothing to correct the imbalance that created the symptom in the first place, upset. In fact, by numbing the body's messages, they often allow the underlying condition to worsen quietly, upset. It's like putting tape over the check engine. Light instead of fixing the engine, upset. The better approach is to see symptoms as feedback. Your body is trying to help you, not punish you. When you listen carefully, upset, you can often trace symptoms back to their root. For instance, persistent headaches might come from dehydration, tension, upset, or high insulin levels. Skin breakouts might relate to liver overload or hormonal imbalance, upset. Fatigue and brain fog often point to poor metabolic health or nutrient deficiencies, upset. Once you find the underlying cause and correct it, upset. The symptom disappears naturally because it no longer needs to signal distress, upset. This perspective changes everything about how you view health. Instead of fighting your body, you begin working with it, upset. You stop asking, how do I get rid of this symptom? And start asking, what is this symptom trying to tell me? Upset. That simple shift moves you from reacting to your body to understanding it. The body doesn't make mistakes, upset. It adapts to its environment. When that adaptation produces discomfort, it's because something in your lifestyle, nutrition, upset, or environment needs to change, upset. Fixing symptoms without understanding them is like turning off a fire alarm while the fire is still burning. The sound stops, upset. But the danger remains. The longer the fire burns, the more damage it causes, and the harder it becomes to repair, upset. On the other hand, when you trace the smoke back to the source, you can put out the fire completely, upset. Your symptoms are that smoke, they're pointing toward an imbalance. So instead of covering up fatigue with caffeine, upset. Heartburn with medication, or headaches with painkillers, pause and investigate. Ask why it's happening, upset. what patterns led up to it, and what habits might be contributing. Upset. The body gives clear clues if you pay attention in your energy levels, digestion, skin, mood, and sleep. Upset. Each symptom carries information that can lead you to a deeper understanding of what your body truly needs to heal and thrive. Identifying and addressing the root cause of a health problem is the foundation of true healing. Upset. When you only treat symptoms, you may feel better temporarily, but the underlying issue continues to operate beneath the surface. Upset, quietly damaging your body. The human body is an interconnected system, not a collection of separate parts. Every organ, hormone, upset. Enzyme and cell communicates with others, and when one area is out of balance, the effects ripple through the whole system. Upset. That's why it's crucial to look beyond what's visible or immediately painful and search for the deeper mechanism driving the problem. Upset. For instance, let's say someone struggles with chronic fatigue. The usual response might be to sleep more, drink coffee, upset, or take an energy supplement. But those are surface level actions. Upset. The real cause of the fatigue might be poor mitochondrial function, insulin resistance, thyroid imbalance, upset, or nutrient deficiencies. Unless you identify and correct those underlying issues, upset. No amount of caffeine or rest will bring lasting energy. The same idea applies to weight gain. Upset. Many people count calories or overexercise, but if the true issue is high insulin, stress hormones, or liver congestion, upset, then those efforts won't create lasting results because they're not addressing what's really broken. Upset. When you get to the root cause, the healing process becomes easier and more natural. For example, upset. If a person has high blood pressure, it's not just a problem of the heart or blood vessels. Upset. It might stem from excessive insulin, a magnesium deficiency, poor kidney function, or chronic stress. Upset. Each of those root causes requires a different approach, and once you fix the cause, blood pressure often normalizes on its own. Upset. The symptom was never the problem. It was the body's way of alerting you to deeper dysfunction. Upset. This concept also applies to digestive issues. Many people take antacids for heartburn, upset, but heartburn is often not caused by too much acid. In many cases, it's the result of too little stomach acid, upset, a weak valve between the esophagus and stomach, or a sluggish digestive system caused by stress and processed foods. Upset. When you simply suppress the acid, you block a symptom but leave the digestive problem unresolved. Over time, upset. That can lead to worse absorption, nutrient deficiencies, and a cascade of new symptoms. Upset. Fixing the root cause requires curiosity and a willingness to investigate. Upset. It means asking why repeatedly until you uncover the foundational issue. Why do you have joint pain? Upset. Because there's inflammation. Why is there inflammation? Because of insulin resistance or an omega-6 imbalance. Upset. Why is that imbalance there? Because of diet and lifestyle choices. Every why takes you closer to the truth. Upset. The body doesn't generate random problems. It responds to the environment you create through what you eat, how you move, upset, and how you live. Many of today's chronic conditions, obesity, diabetes, hormonal imbalances, fatigue, upset, and brain fog, can be traced to metabolic dysfunction, particularly insulin resistance, upset. This means the root cause often lies in diet and lifestyle, not genetics or bad luck, upset. When you focus on repairing metabolic health by lowering insulin through intermittent fasting, reducing sugar intake, upset, and improving nutrient density, symptoms across the body begin to fade. Hormones balance, inflammation decreases, energy returns, upset, and mental clarity improves. You didn't fix 10 different problems. You addressed one root cause that created them all, upset. Understanding root causes also brings empowerment. When you know what's truly happening in your body, upset. You're no longer dependent on external fixes, upset. You realize that your health isn't controlled by random chance, but by choices that can be changed, upset. This shift transforms how you approach every health challenge. Instead of chasing the next pill or quick fix, upset. You begin to ask deeper questions, make smarter adjustments, and build long-term habits that restore balance, upset. True healing always begins when you stop managing symptoms and start correcting causes. Nutrition is the foundation of health because everything that happens inside the body, energy production, upset, hormone balance, cellular repair, and brain function, depends on the raw materials you provide through food, upset. The body is constantly rebuilding itself, cell by cell, upset. And the quality of that construction depends on what you eat every single day, upset. If you give the body nutrient-poor food filled with refined sugars, processed oils, and chemicals, upset. It struggles to perform basic functions. Over time, upset. That creates symptoms that people often mistake for unrelated issues such as fatigue, poor sleep, or mood swings, upset, when in reality they stem from poor nutrition. On the other hand, when you fuel the body with real, whole, nutrient-dense foods, upset. It has the tools it needs to restore balance naturally, upset. One of the biggest misconceptions in modern health advice is that food is only about calories. People count calories, upset, restrict portions, and try to eat less, but they rarely think about nutrient density. The truth is, upset. Your body doesn't crave calories, it craves nutrients. When your diet lacks essential vitamins, minerals, and amino acids, upset. Your brain continues to signal hunger because it's still searching for what it's missing, upset. This is why people who eat processed food often feel hungry soon after eating, upset. They are feeding the stomach but starving the cells. When you switch to nutrient-rich foods, vegetables, healthy fats, upset, and low glycemic carbohydrates, those cravings diminish because the body is finally satisfied at a cellular level, upset. The type of fuel you provide also determines how efficiently your metabolism works, upset. When your diet is high in sugar and refined carbs, your insulin levels stay elevated, upset, and your body becomes dependent on glucose as its primary energy source. This leads to frequent hunger, energy crashes, upset, and fat storage, especially around the abdomen. By contrast, when you lower carbohydrates and increase healthy fats, upset, your body learns to burn fat for fuel, entering a state called ketosis. In ketosis, your energy becomes steady, upset. Your focus sharpens and your cravings fade. This metabolic flexibility is what Dr. Upset Berg often refers to as healthy keto. Not a diet filled with bacon and butter, upset, but a balanced approach centered on nutrient-dense vegetables, moderate protein, and high-quality fats, upset. Equally important is the timing of when you eat, upset. Constant snacking keeps insulin elevated and prevents the body from tapping into fat stores. Intermittent fasting, upset, when combined with a healthy keto approach, allows insulin levels to drop, giving your body time to repair, detoxify, upset, and use stored fat for energy. When you go longer between meals, your body becomes more efficient, inflammation decreases, upset, and you give your digestive system the rest it needs to function optimally, upset. This way of eating isn't about deprivation. It's about alignment with how the body was designed to work, upset. Nutrition also affects hormone balance, brain chemistry, and emotional health. Many mood issues, for instance, upset, are linked to unstable blood sugar or nutrient deficiencies such as B vitamins, magnesium, or omega-3 fats, upset. When you nourish the body properly, your mind becomes clearer, your mood stabilizes, and your resilience improves, upset. Food isn't just fuel, it's information that tells your genes how to behave, upset. Every bite you eat sends signals that either promote healing or contribute to disease, upset. You can't out supplement or out-medicate a poor diet because nutrition is the foundation that supports every other system. Upset. Supplements can fill small gaps, but they can't replace real food. Upset. When you base your meals on nutrient-rich whole foods, leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, avocados, eggs, fish, olive oil, upset, nuts, seeds, and clean proteins, you're giving your body everything it needs to heal from within. Upset. The body already knows how to restore itself. It simply needs the right materials to do the job effectively. Upset. Once you correct what you're feeding your body, upset. Many chronic symptoms disappear because the root cause, poor nutrition, has finally been addressed. True healing begins at the cellular level because every process in the body, metabolism, upset. Detoxification, immune response, and hormone regulation depends on how well your cells function. Upset. The body is made up of trillions of cells, and if those cells are weak, toxic, or unable to produce energy efficiently, upset. No amount of surface level treatment will restore health. Upset. It's like trying to repair a house by repainting the walls while the foundation is cracked. To feel vibrant and energetic, upset. You must focus on what's happening inside your cells, where energy is created and balance is maintained. Upset. Each cell contains mitochondria, which are tiny energy factories that convert nutrients into usable energy called ATP. Upset. When mitochondria are healthy, you have stable energy, clear thinking, and strong immunity. Upset. But when they're damaged by high sugar intake, oxidative stress, toxins, or nutrient deficiencies, energy production drops. Upset. You begin to feel tired, sluggish, or mentally foggy. Instead of addressing the fatigue with caffeine or stimulants, upset. It's far more effective to fix what's disrupting your cell's ability to generate energy. Reducing sugar, upset. Eating more nutrient-rich foods, fasting periodically, upset. And consuming healthy fats can all restore mitochondrial function and revive energy from within. Upset. One of the biggest enemies of cellular health is insulin resistance. Upset. When insulin levels stay high due to a diet rich in carbohydrates and frequent eating, cells stop responding properly to insulin. Upset. This prevents glucose from entering the cells efficiently, leading to energy crashes, cravings, and fat storage. Over time, upset. This process damages mitochondria and accelerates aging. By lowering carbohydrate intake, practicing intermittent fasting, upset, and improving fat metabolism, upset. You can reverse insulin resistance and allow your cells to use both glucose and fat for fuel efficiently. Upset. This flexibility not only boosts energy, but also reduces inflammation throughout the body. Upset. Another key factor in supporting cellular health is providing the right nutrients. Cells need specific vitamins, minerals, upset, and trace elements to perform essential functions such as detoxification, repair, and communication. Magnesium, potassium, upset. And antioxidants like vitamin C and E are vital for maintaining the integrity of the cell membrane and supporting mitochondrial activity. Upset. A diet based on processed foods strips the body of these nutrients, while whole foods, especially vegetables, eggs, fish, nuts, upset, and leafy greens, replenish them naturally. When your nutrient levels are optimal, upset. Your cells have what they need to repair DNA damage, produce hormones, and remove waste products efficiently, upset. Toxins are another major threat to cellular function. Every day, your body is exposed to environmental pollutants, chemicals, upset, and processed ingredients that can accumulate and disrupt cell signaling. The liver, which acts as your main detox organ, upset, relies on healthy cells and adequate nutrients to process and eliminate these toxins. Supporting liver health through fasting, upset, and nutrient-dense foods like cruciferous vegetables helps clear the internal environment so your cells can function at their best, upset. When the liver is overloaded, toxins linger and contribute to fatigue, skin issues, and hormonal imbalances, upset. Cellular health is also deeply tied to inflammation, upset. Chronic inflammation damages cell membranes and interferes with communication between cells, upset. This breakdown is at the root of many modern health issues such as arthritis, cardiovascular disease, and neurodegeneration, upset. The most effective way to reduce inflammation is not through painkillers, but through lifestyle changes, lowering sugar intake, upset, managing stress, improving sleep, and increasing omega-3 fatty acids from sources like fish and flaxseed, upset. When inflammation decreases, cells can repair themselves faster and perform their functions more effectively. Ultimately, upset. When your cells are functioning optimally, every system in your body improves automatically. Your hormones balance, upset. Your digestion becomes smoother, your energy becomes steady, and your mind feels sharper, upset. You don't need to force the body to heal. It already knows how, upset. All you have to do is remove what's harming the cells and provide what supports them, upset. Focusing on cellular health is not just a strategy for healing disease, but for achieving lasting vitality, longevity, upset. And the kind of energy that doesn't fade with time. Hormones are the body's internal communication system, upset. They coordinate nearly every function, from metabolism and energy to mood, sleep, and reproduction. When hormones are in balance, upset, everything feels stable, you wake up energized, your mind is clear, and your body performs efficiently, upset. But when they fall out of balance, you experience fatigue, weight gain, cravings, mood swings, and countless other symptoms, upset. The mistake most people make is treating these symptoms in isolation rather than looking at what's actually causing the hormonal disruption in the first place, upset. Balancing hormones naturally means understanding how lifestyle, nutrition, upset, and stress affect the delicate interplay between these chemical messengers, upset. One of the biggest disruptors of hormonal balance is chronically elevated insulin, upset. Insulin is a powerful hormone that regulates blood sugar, but when you consume a diet high in refined carbohydrates and sugars, upset. Insulin levels remain high all day. Over time, your cells become resistant to insulin, upset, forcing the body to produce even more of it. This leads to a cascade of problems: fat storage, fatigue, upset, and inflammation, and it interferes with other hormones such as cortisol, estrogen, and testosterone, upset. By lowering insulin through intermittent fasting, reducing carbohydrate intake, and emphasizing healthy fats, upset, you help reset the hormonal environment. When insulin stabilizes, other hormones begin to normalize naturally, upset. Another key factor in hormonal balance is stress, which triggers the release of cortisol. Cortisol is essential for survival, upset. But when stress becomes chronic, whether from emotional pressure, lack of sleep, upset, or constant multitasking, cortisol stays elevated, upset. High cortisol not only makes you feel anxious or tired, but also drives up blood sugar and insulin, suppresses thyroid function, upset, and disrupts reproductive hormones. Managing stress isn't just about relaxation, upset. It's about restoring balance to your endocrine system. Deep breathing, walking in nature, quality sleep, upset, and nutrient-rich foods all help reduce cortisol and allow the body to shift from a state of survival to a state of repair, upset. The liver also plays a vital role in hormonal balance. Many hormones, including estrogen, upset, are processed and deactivated by the liver before being excreted. When the liver is overworked by poor diet, alcohol, or toxins, upset, it can't effectively clear out excess hormones, leading to imbalances like estrogen dominance, upset. Supporting liver health with cruciferous vegetables, lemon water, upset, and adequate hydration helps your body naturally regulate hormone levels, upset. Fasting and avoiding processed foods give the liver time to detoxify and restore normal function, upset, which in turn keeps hormones balanced. Sleep is another often overlooked factor. During deep sleep, upset. The body produces growth hormone and melatonin, both of which are essential for repair and recovery. Upset. Inadequate sleep raises cortisol, disrupts insulin, and slows metabolism. Upset. The body's hormonal clock depends on circadian rhythm, light exposure during the day and darkness at night. Upset. By prioritizing consistent sleep and minimizing exposure to blue light before bed, upset. You support the natural release of hormones that keep energy and mood stable. Nutrition ties everything together. Upset. The body needs specific nutrients to synthesize and regulate hormones. Zinc, magnesium, iodine, selenium. Upset. And B vitamins are all critical cofactors in hormone production and conversion. Without these, hormones cannot function properly. Upset. No matter how much the body tries to compensate, that's why nutrient-dense foods such as eggs, seafood, leafy greens, upset. Avocados and seeds are vital for restoring balance. Processed foods, on the other hand, upset. Deplete these nutrients and add chemicals that interfere with hormonal signaling. Upset. Balancing hormones naturally isn't about targeting one hormone at a time. It's about creating the right environment for the body to regulate itself. Upset. When you eat well, manage stress, sleep deeply, and support your liver, hormones fall into place without extreme measures. Upset. The body's intelligence is remarkable. Upset. Once you remove the factors causing imbalance and provide what it needs to function optimally, your hormones realign, energy returns, mood stabilizes. Upset. And overall well-being improves from the inside out. The human body is designed with an incredible ability to heal itself when given the right conditions. Upset. Every system, every organ, and every cell is constantly working to repair, renew, and maintain balance. Upset. This process happens naturally without us even thinking about it. Upset. But the problem is that most people unknowingly interfere with it. Poor diet, chronic stress, lack of sleep, toxins, upset. And constant snacking overload the body's systems, preventing them from functioning efficiently. Instead of supporting healing, upset. We often add more strain, forcing the body to compensate and adapt until it can't anymore. The truth is, upset. You don't have to make the body heal. It already knows how. Upset. You simply need to stop doing the things that block it from doing its job. Upset. When you remove what harms the body and provide what it needs, healing begins automatically. The liver detoxifies. Upset. The gut repairs, hormones rebalance, and inflammation decreases. This is the foundation of natural health. Upset. Not forcing the body to change, but creating the right internal environment for it to thrive. For example, upset. If you constantly eat processed food filled with sugar and chemicals, upset. Your body has to divert energy toward dealing with those toxins. It becomes overwhelmed and symptoms start to appear: fatigue, upset, skin issues, poor digestion, or weight gain. But when you replace those foods with nutrient-rich vegetables, healthy fats, upset, and adequate hydration, your body can redirect energy toward healing and regeneration instead of constant damage control. Upset. Intermittent fasting is one of the most powerful examples of how removing interference can allow the body to heal. Upset. When you stop eating every few hours and give your digestive system a break, insulin levels drop, inflammation decreases. Upset. And your cells begin a process called autophagy, where old or damaged cells are broken down and recycled. Upset. This built-in cleansing system operates best when you're not constantly feeding. Upset. You don't need to take pills or complicated detox products. Upset. Your body already has everything it needs to clean and repair itself. Upset. As long as you stop interrupting that process with excessive eating and sugar intake. Upset. Stress is another major obstacle to healing. When you're in a constant state of tension, upset. Your body produces high levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol prepares you for emergencies, upset. But when it's always elevated, it shuts down digestion, suppresses the immune system, and disrupts sleep, upset. The body can't heal in that state because it's stuck in survival mode. Learning to manage stress through deep breathing, upset, sunlight, upset, or simply slowing down allows the nervous system to switch from fight or flight to rest and repair. Only in that calm, upset, balanced state can true healing occur. Sleep is equally vital because it's when the body performs most of its repair work, upset. During deep sleep, growth hormone is released, tissues rebuild, and the brain clears out toxins accumulated during the day, upset. Skipping sleep or sleeping poorly is like skipping your body's nightly maintenance cycle, upset. You wake up tired not because you need more caffeine, but because your body didn't get the chance to finish its internal repair work, upset. Prioritizing quality sleep is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to allow the body to heal itself, upset. The same principle applies to emotions. Holding on to anger, guilt, upset, or anxiety triggers chemical reactions that keep the body in stress mode, upset. Letting go of emotional burdens and practicing gratitude, mindfulness, or prayer helps shift the body back into harmony, upset. Healing isn't just physical, it's mental and emotional too. When your mind relaxes, your body follows. Ultimately, upset. The path to health isn't about doing more, it's about doing less of what harms you and more of what supports your body's natural intelligence. Upset. The body doesn't need to be forced or micromanaged. It needs the right inputs: clean food, rest, calm, sunlight, upset, and movement, and the removal of what disrupts it. When you honor those principles, the body automatically returns to balance, upset, symptoms fade, and energy is restored because healing is its natural state